As Hollywood grapples with its first double strike in over 60 years, the scene at Sun Valley Lodge in the beautiful state of Idaho for the Allen & Company conference is a sight to behold. While SAG-AFTRA and WGA members are walking the picket lines, the studio executives and media moguls are living it up like there's no tomorrow. Private jets, golf outings, scenic, serene bike rides, and stunning landscapes set the stage for the stark contrast between opulence and turmoil in the entertainment industry. It's a battle between billionaires and millionaires, and you won't believe the tensions, demands, and the backlash that's unfolding before our eyes. Except that, I don't know if anybody really cares. Here we go. The imagery couldn't be more contrasting. While the talent and crew members fight for their rights, the bigwigs in Sun Valley like Bob Iger, David Zaslav, and Ted Sarandos seem to be enjoying a different world altogether. A benefit that, well, none of us will ever experience. Private transportation, high security measures, exclusive golf sessions, behind the scenes collusion, of course, as I mentioned in a previous video, and breathtaking mountain views create, well, just a stunning landscape of luxury and detachment. As the studio leaders indulge in Sun Valley's extravagant amenities, the hardworking talent on the picket lines feels the weight of the entire industry's challenges. Smiling executives sporting matching red windbreakers project an air of carefreeness amidst a chaos and struggling Hollywood. At least that's the picture being painted for you of those that are fighting for fair treatment. Now, the Allen & Company conference at Sun Valley has always been a playground for the moguls and the media. This is nothing new, and I've talked about it several years in a row now. You've got media, technology, finance sectors all represented, and it's where deals are made and where networks are fostered. It's the ultimate in networking, as a matter of fact. Past conferences have seen game-changing acquisitions like Comcast's takeover of NBC Universal and Jeff Bezos' acquisition of The Washington Post, his personal propaganda outlet. However, the timing of this year's conference, coinciding with the strikes, has sparked a wave of criticism. While executives obviously reveling in the resort's lavish offerings, you have Fran Drescher, president of the Film Actors Guild, using the press conference, a press event, to passionately highlight a lack of seriousness from the AMPTP regarding the demands of the talent. The disparity between executive luxury and the fight for, well, fair treatment becomes glaringly evident, or at least they want you to see that. And then, of course, there's Bob Iger's remarks during an interview at Sun Valley, doing what Bob Iger does, which is adding fuel to the fire. He expressed his disappointment with strikes while enjoying the lap of luxury, and it really does reveal a disconnect between high-level executives and the talent on the ground. It's hard to ignore the stark wage gap that further exacerbates the issues at hand, and boy do they like to play that up. And as that conference starts to wrap up, or it actually did on Saturday, a harsh reality awaits all of these folks. They're going to board their private jets, just leaving behind all of the luxury that they've enjoyed to travel back home to the luxury that they always enjoy. And at the same time, returning to an industry that probably is, well, in one of its worst crises ever. At this point, there's lost content, limited supplies of content in the future, and soaring budgets that are going to demand their attention. One can't help but wonder at this point if they truly comprehend the magnitude of the problems that lie ahead. I think it would be hard to argue that they do, considering just how easily they slid into this over the course of the last 3 years. The Hollywood strikes bring several issues to the forefront. At the heart of it all are two main factors: compensation and AI. Finding a resolution, it requires, well, or means, let's try that again. Finding a resolution means removing AI from certain aspects of writing and acting, and reforming residuals, and then granting some kind of streaming number transparency. Yet, the latter will prove to be a sticking point for the media companies who are reluctant to expose their viewership numbers, because, believe it or not, they would be rather laughable. And that would be a real big problem for them at the stock market as well, because they've been selling everything else out for streaming, which doesn't turn out to make any money, and essentially threw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to all the other means from which they used to pull revenue, because, well, they've abandoned them. And as millionaires are continuing to fight these billionaires, the below-the-line workers are the ones that bear the brunt of the struggle, just when they absolutely needed a recovery after a few years of, well, hit and miss opportunities to earn. To my friends in the industry, and there are many of you, I extend my apologies. The road ahead does indeed look bleak. But what about the future? Well, it's essential to acknowledge a simple truth that has plagued many of the cultural mainstays over time: customer apathy. It's the apathy of your average person who looks at you with a puzzled expression when asked about the strike. Regular folks are checked out at this point. They're uninformed, and they no longer are invested in mainstream entertainment. They've turned to their phones, their tablets, their computers for entertainment and information, flocking to platforms like this one. And thank you for that, in fact. Baseball actually learned this lesson the hard way. A substantial portion of their audience never returns after a strike. Why does this happen? Well, interest fades and you're no longer a staple in people's lives. The same fate may await the film and television industry if they continue down this path of division and disconnection from their audience. In the end, it's a battle between billionaires and millionaires, with apathy lurking in the background. And that's us. The tension, demands, and the backlash unfolding amidst the strikes paint a picture of an industry that's teetering on the edge of irrelevance. It's a wake-up call for Hollywood, a reminder that the audience's loyalty can and may be lost forever. But hey, what do you think? Do you think that there's a chance that a lot of people will never return to Hollywood? Do you think that the 30 to 40% of film goers are ever going to return to the cinemas in mass again? Will television come back to being more relevant and interesting after the, well, peak and decline of peak television? And finally, can you think of anything more offensive than people on the upper tier arguing about all of these things while most people right now are trying to figure out how to pay their grocery bill? I leave all those questions to you. Please comment down below with those thoughts and any others that you might have on the subject matter. And if this is your first time here or your 1000th, and I know I've said that a lot recently, please double check that you've turned the little red subscribe button to gray, because hey, I'm trying to get to 10K and well beyond that in the future. And with your support, we're getting there. With that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.